Okay, there we go. That's okay.
Hi, everybody. We'll give it maybe another minute here just to see if we have any stragglers. I hear a couple more people in the waiting room. Do just want to be transparent in that we are recording this so we can share this information later. So just so you are aware that you are part of a recorded meeting here. Um, all right, well, let's go ahead and jump into it. We're so glad you chose to join us here on this first week of January. Happy to see you all or see the icons that represent you all. Just wanted to give you a quick intro and overview of our meeting today. My name is Zoe. I have a split role between member support and troop support. I'm based out of Omaha. And today we will cover a couple of things. We have our special guest CEO to give us a little state of Girl Scouts and intro for the year that we are starting here. And then we also will take some time to dream of warmer weather and talk about planning camping trips for spring and summer with your troop. But Pam, do you want to segue on to the next part?
Okay, I am Pam Suckup. I am Troop Support Specialist for part of the Northeast area and first year Troop Support Specialist. And I would like to introduce Sarah Waldman, our CEO. It's great to have you with us tonight, Sarah. So take it away.
I had muted myself in case my dog started barking. So all of a sudden, there we go. Now hopefully you can all hear me. If you have any troubles at all, please do let me know. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you, Pam and Zoe, for the invite. Thank you all for being here to share this time with us, to connect and to learn and to grow together in Girl Scouts. We are super glad you chose to spend some time with us this evening and are just really honored to have you as part of our Girl Scout movement. So of course, I want to start by just thanking you for being a Girl Scout volunteer. I would love to get some conversation going, some chat going. So if you could either shout out or put in the chat how long you've been a Girl Scout volunteer, I'd love to hear from who's our newest volunteer, who maybe joined last week, or who's been with Girl Scouts for 25 years. So please, let's try to make this a little bit interactive, and I'd love to hear from you. I do have a few things I want to share, but then I am absolutely open to any questions that you might have that I can help answer. We've got a great team here on this call who can also answer many of your questions as well. But I look forward to hearing from you and to hearing what questions and what's on your mind tonight as well. So as hopefully you all know, that we are so grateful for all that you do for Girl Scouts. Our volunteers are so critical to accomplishing what we do here in Girl Scouts. And I know I'm a very proud Girl Scout volunteer for Girl Scout Troop 48316 in Papillion, and have been co-leading that troop for over 3 years now with my amazing co-leaders. And I know it can be overwhelming at times. I know it can be hard in the day-to-day. I know there's times when I'm like, gosh, are these girls even listening? Is it making any impact? But we know that we show up, and we show up every time because these girls need us. The change that you see year over year, time over time, truly adds up to remarkable skills that girls learn in Girl Scouts, and we know it makes a difference. So thank you for what you do. Please keep doing it. Over this past year, we've had 82% in new leader retention. And that's just truly amazing. And that's just a credit to this troop support team, to all of you for sticking with us, for continuing to show up for girls year after year. I'm really proud of our adult retention here in Nebraska. It truly is among the best in the country, and all that credit goes to all of you on this call tonight and your commitment to Girl Scouts. So again, thank you so much. Some of the things that we've really been focused on here at Girl Scout Spirit of Nebraska is to continuing to improve our volunteer experience, ensuring you know who to turn to when you have questions and need support, and providing tools that are hopefully making volunteering easier. One great example this year nationally is the Daisy Experience Box. Please continue to give us your feedback. Let us know how we can best support you so that we can continue to grow in Girl Scouts together. One plug I'll make, two plugs I'll make actually. One is invite your friends to join us. If you're having a great experience and you know somebody else who would also love to be part of the Girl Scouts movement, we would love to talk with them and bring them on board. Our adult memberships have actually been down the last couple of years, and we are always in need of more caring adults who want to make an impact in a girl's life. So please continue to spread the word to your friends and family and whoever else you meet that you're a proud Girl Scout volunteer and that you'd love for them to learn more about Girl Scouts. My second plug is, amazing Girl Scout volunteers out there. We have an annual volunteer awards process and ceremony that happens during our volunteer retreat. Our nominations due for our volunteer awards are due by January 15th. So please consider nominating that amazing Girl Scout volunteer that you know. We'd love to get some more nominations in so that we can celebrate all of the great work that's being done out there. Okay, I want to move next to a few highlights from over the past year, some things that I'm really proud of that I wanted to make sure that you were aware of. First is that we have had membership growth for the third straight year here in Girl Scout Spirit of Nebraska. Really proud of the growth that we've had. We continue to do an amazing job of recruiting and retaining Girl Scouts. And again, it's testament to everybody on this call that we're providing a really great experience for girls. Over the period of the pandemic, we and nationally, Girl Scouts lost about 40% of its membership. We were able to recover that membership within 2 years. And then this past year, our membership kind of leveled. Our growth was at 1% this past year, which is very consistent with all the national trends. So again, thank you for providing that great experience that keeps girls coming back and sticking with Girl Scouts. Another area that I wanted to highlight is our property improvements that we've made over the past year. We were one of the 4th Girl Scout councils in the country to open a Girl Scout Dream Lab, and we did that in Omaha. It's been a fantastic venue to bring Girl Scouts to do programming in our own space, a space that girls are really enjoying, and it's so awesome for our staff to be able to see the Girl Scouts having a fantastic experience there. So if you have not yet visited the Girl Scout Dream Lab in Omaha, I encourage you to do so, and just keep giving us feedback on what you want to see. We do hope to expand these girl-focused spaces into other parts of the state. However, further expansion right now is on hold due to financial concerns. So once we stabilize our financial picture, we look forward to continuing to reimagine our spaces in our service center models across the state so that we're providing the kind of space and place that Girl Scouts are excited to visit. So more to come on that as we continue to move forward. This past year, we also made some really amazing camp upgrades that I'm really proud of. We had some great upgrades to our Sky Camp, a new security gate, pool repairs at Camp Katrin in Nebraska City. We had renovations at our beautiful Columbus Service Center. We have just installed a brand new cabin at Camp Cosmo. and an observation deck at Camp Maha, as well as shower house upgrades at Camp Crossed Arrows. So we have so many amazing camps across the state, and I look forward to hearing your conversation later about all the fun summer plans. I know when our troop met just this week and started talking about the cookie program and what we're going to do with our proceeds, camp was the number one thing that our girls want to do. They love that experience, and it is an exciting time for all of us. So I look forward to hearing all your plans as well later on the call. Okay, last area that I wanted to highlight from in this past year is our outreach programming. And this is something that I'm really proud of that we do. Girl Scout Spirit of Nebraska provides the Girl Scout experience for girls who might not otherwise have the ability to participate due to barriers such as cost, transportation, lack of an available adult co-leader in the area. This past year, we served 3,649 girls through our community-based outreach programs. And we are very grateful to all of our donors who provide really significant support to help make this programming available. So those are some of the three really important areas that I wanted to make sure I highlighted from this past year. I'll also talk about a few of our challenges and then wrap up with a conversation about really the impact of Girl Scouts. And then, of course, again, I'm happy to answer any questions that may be on your mind based upon anything I'm covering or anything else that you'd like to cover this evening. So some of the challenges that we've experienced over this past year and continue to experience this year, and many of you have probably heard a little bit about this, is the membership dues increase that we're expecting to be implemented over the next year. So effective 10/1/2025, the membership dues amount will increase for our girl members to $45 and increase to $30 for adult members. And in 2026, October of 2026, we know that the girl membership dues will go up to $65. That's a significant increase, and we know there's lots of reasons for that increase. One of the things that I wanted to point out is that the process that was used to determine whether dues would be raised, how they would be raised, and how much was that decision was made as part of the democratic process within Girl Scouts. This is a really formal, amazing process that has been working for Girl Scouts for over 100 years. This process is known as our National Council Session. And each Girl Scout council across the country has delegates who participate in these meetings, vote on these proposals, and really represent our local council. I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that we are currently accepting applications for the next National Council Session delegates. Now, this is a 3-year commitment, and delegates participate in our national convention. The next one will happen in July of 2026 in Chicago. Delegates can be Girl Scouts who are at least 14 years of age, as well as adult volunteers. And I encourage, if any of you or your Girl Scout is interested in learning more or pursuing this opportunity to become a delegate, I encourage you to check this information out on our website and apply. The application should be open through the end of the month, and the delegates will be elected at our annual meeting in April. So much more to come on this as well. As we prepare for the impacts of these dues increase, we're committed to doing whatever we can to ensure that any family who is not able to afford our membership dues has the opportunity to seek financial aid. So financial aid is a big part of what we do here at Girl Scouts to try to do everything we can to ensure that any girl who wants to participate in Girl Scouts has that opportunity to do so. Another area of challenge that I wanted to just raise up to ensure that you are aware of this additional challenge is the increasing costs that we're seeing with the Girl Scout cookie program. For any of you who are serving as cookie managers or have started working on your cookie program for this upcoming season, you'll know that due to increased costs, we did have to raise the price per box to $6 this year. This is consistent with all of the Girl Scout councils who are in our region. As far as the price per box, in fact, we were one of the last councils, not only in our region, but in the country, to move to that $6 per box. We know inflation is hitting everyone, and we appreciate all that we can do to help our customers understand that as well, and hopefully continue to have a successful Girl Scout cookie program. One of the trends that we have seen over the last couple of years is that we have had declining girl participation. This is not only a local, but it's a national trend as well. And there's a whole lot of complex factors impacting that decision to participate in this program. And we know that all of you do everything you can to, to support this program. So I want to just say thank you for all that you do. I know it's a heavy load, in particular for those of you who are serving as a cookie manager. Again, this program is critically important to the Girl Scouts, not only from the fundraising that occurs to provide girls the opportunity to go to camp and do all the activities that they do with their Girl Scout troop. It's a critical fundraising opportunity for our council to provide the services that we provide, the camps, the programs, and all the things that we do here at the Girl Scout Council as well. And most importantly, the skills that the girls learn through participating in this program truly do last a lifetime. They build their business skills, build their confidence for all the things that they choose to do in the future. So again, your support is critical, and we thank you so much for all that you do to support this program. Okay, before I close up, I want to make sure that I hit a little bit of information about our Girl Scout Voices Count survey. Now, some of you may know this is an annual survey that is run by GSUSA, our Girl Scouts of the United States of America, and it is a national survey. It runs in the spring, usually about in April. This past year, GSUSA made some pretty significant revisions to this national survey in an attempt to streamline the survey and to increase participation. Historically, the survey has had multiple pieces, including volunteers, caregivers, girls. This past year, only the girl portion of the survey was run. So it did limit the feedback that we received through this survey, which means our other sources of feedback, like these types of meetings, are even more important. So thank you again for continuing to share your thoughts with us. But as far as the most recent results for our Girl Scout Voices Count survey, I wanted to share just a few of the highlights with you. Our goal here at Girl Scout Spirit of Nebraska is to meet or exceed the national results on all elements of this survey. And I'm really proud to say that we have met that goal in nearly all of the results. For our particular council, we exceed the national results on girl satisfaction and in girl participation in a variety of activities. So we're doing a great job of giving a great experience and providing girls with the opportunity to try new things and do a whole bunch of different things throughout the year. They're loving that. We should keep doing that because that's really working and girls are loving it. We are also doing really well, and we're on par with national results on girls reporting that they feel like they belong in Girl Scouts and that they can be themselves, as well as all of our outcomes measures, which includes girls reporting that they are improving their sense of self, they're learning positive values, they're learning to seek challenges and try new things, they're building healthy relationships. and they're learning how to be a community problem solver. So we are on par with national results for all of those elements. And again, really proud of the work that we are all doing collectively to make a positive difference for girls in Nebraska, in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Where we lag the national results is girls reporting having a supportive adult relationship within Girl Scouts. This is something that I want to continue to explore, because when I am out talking with Girl Scouts, one of the things that I always ask Girl Scouts is, what are their favorite things to do? What do they love about Girl Scouts? And they always tell me that they love to camp. They love all the activities. They most cherish the relationships that they're building in Girl Scouts. They love their leaders. They appreciate the friendships that they've made. So this is one of the things that I want to continue to determine what's driving that result and what else can we do, whether it's how the question's asked or what else we can do to understand what that result is trying to tell us. Okay, so I know I've shared a lot. And I look forward to any questions that you might have. But again, I just wanted to end on a note that what you're doing makes such a difference. And we're so grateful for all that you do in a world where we could use more kindness and belonging and support of each other. Girl Scouts provides that space for girls to figure out who they are, what they want to be, in that safe and supportive environment. And that's because of all the work that you do day in, day out, meeting with girls and showing them all that they can do. So we're grateful to you, our volunteers. You make it possible for us to build girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. So thank you for helping us to change the world one girl at a time. Okay. I have really gone through all of the main points that I wanted to make, and I'll just pause to see if there's any questions or other things that you would like us to talk about. I'm just pausing to look at the chat to see we've got 10 years, 25 plus years, 2 years. Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do. It's truly amazing. Okay. If there are no questions, I'll hang on in case somebody thinks of something, but I'll turn it back over to Zoe and Pam and to carry on with the agenda.
Thank you so much, Sarah. We appreciate you being on and giving us all your insights. And yes, if anybody else has questions, just pop them in the chat for Sarah and we'll interrupt and get them answered for you. But in the meantime, I am going to move on to some outdoor training. So I am going to share the council website and I hope you can all see it. Under the member section and your volunteer resources, your main go-to spot as a troop volunteer. If you page down, you get to outdoor trainings. Under outdoor trainings, you will find Explore Out, which is one of the trainings required as a co-leader that you should be taking. Part of that is what we call safety activity checkpoints. I'm not going to open this because it's a huge document, but it shares information about what you need to do, what supplies you need to have, the requirements for the event, and it ranges from everything. There's hiking in there. I think there's information about being in a parade, so swimming, any outdoor activities and what you need to do and what you need to have prepared for them. Our co-leader Explore Out training is just a booklet that takes you through some questions and answers, but it also takes you back to the safety activity checkpoints to answer some of the questions within this. And of course, that's going to. Once you complete your Explore Out training, then you fill out your volunteer online training report, just like you do for your other trainings. Girl Scouts in the Outdoors are some short little videos that GSUSA provide that you can look through. And then we get down to Camp Out Basics. And Camp Out Basic trainings are a retraining required if you want to do outdoor activities with your girls that require building a fire, outdoor cooking, and camping. This training is required to be renewed every 5 years. And if in those 5 years you actively use it every year, then there is a test out training that you can take, a little quiz that you can take to test out. But for our Camp Out Basic trainings coming up, on March 29th, we will have one in Grand Island at Camp Cosmo, and the trainings do run from 9 to 3. These are all on Saturdays, and it is required for you to attend the whole training. We have 2 on April 12th, one being at Camp Crossarrows in Nickerson and one at Hilltop House in Lincoln. We have one April 22nd at Camp Maha in Papillion. And we are in the process, I'm still trying to work on some dates to get some trainings set up for the western part of the state. We also have another training on, this one's on Sunday, June 22nd at Cap Cantron in Nebraska City. And this one is tied in with our volunteer retreat weekend, which will be June 20th and 21st. And this is a weekend that gives our volunteers the opportunity to experience camp without your girls, network, experience the challenge courses, and just fun of being at camp. We also celebrate our volunteer awards on this weekend also. Under the Camp Out Plus, there's some videos on hiking skills and nighttime activities and knot skills. And then there are some additional videos that you can watch. And we used to have Stillwater skill training, but the facilitators for that training expired, so we do not have anybody trained in that at this given time. And then each troop is supposed to have somebody that is first aid CPR certified. And so in a lot of cases, you have teachers or healthcare professionals that qualify for these roles, but we also have, there's Red Cross trainings available. Heart Association offers trainings. And in a lot of cases, service units put together and set up a training for their service units, possibly checking with your local fire department to see if they're offering any training classes upcoming is a good idea. So that's kind of the outdoor training information. Are there any questions?
We did have 2 questions in the chat.
Okay. Okay.
The first one is, are all co-leaders required to attend the all-day training?
No, and it doesn't even necessarily need to be a co-leader that takes the outdoor training. It can be somebody else. They do need to be registered and background screened, but it doesn't necessarily need to be the co-leader. And but it would be somebody that's attending your events with you and stuff like that.
So then the second question is, oh, sorry, who do we check with to see when we need to attend our next outdoor training? I can't remember when my last training was.
Check with, I can look it up. It takes me a little bit to try to find it, but yeah, I can look it up.
And then the last question was, would you be able to drop a link here where we can sign up for these trainings?
Yes, give me a minute and I will get that.
I was gonna say, Pam, I'm in the
no other
process of
question,
pulling it up here.
Okay,
I can
okay.
put it in there.
Okay, perfect, Zoe. You're going to be quicker at it than I am.
Almost have it. Okay.
Also, if not, go in into the program book and type in Camp Out Basic Training, and all the dates will come up for you on there too. And the volunteer retreat weekend, we don't have the link in yet for registering for that. We're working on that, but we will keep you updated as to when we get that up and going. So. Okay, if there's no other questions on the outdoor training, Zoe, I will turn it over to you.
All right. I'm going to share my screen here. I made us a bit of a visual aid because I think when somebody gives me a bunch of details, if I don't have anything to look at, I will not remember any of them. So I just wanted to touch briefly on the process of looking at setting your troop up for a camping experience. I know this is the time of year where a lot of people are thinking about that. And in member support, I talk to people all day about questions about this process. And I think there are varying comfort levels with our various registration systems. So this is just to sort of help you get a sense of what do I need to think about as I'm setting up a trip for my troop, or a camping trip rather, and how do I do that? So really quick here, Pam really touched on these, but kind of to know before you go, some of the things that you will need to provide when you are making your registration are proof of various credentials and trainings. So that Camp Out Basic training, that's particularly important. Ideally, we'd like everyone to have that, but the real catch is that if you are planning on setting a fire, making a fire at your camping trip in any of our properties, you won't be able to do that if you don't have that training. It's just kind of a extra layer of precaution. And then you also will need to indicate that somebody in your group, whether that's a co-leader or another parent adult volunteer, has first aid CPR certification. And then we also encourage you to take into consideration all of those fun safety checkpoints. But like Pam said, I'm not going to open that document because it's a long one. But if you have questions, the troop support team is always happy to chat about those. Okay. A really quick intro to our camp properties. If you've been with us for a while, you probably are more familiar, but if you're brand new, you might not know about all of the camps we have across the state. So we have Camp Maha in Papillion, Hilltop House in Lincoln, with a quick caveat that that is not a place that you can sleep. That is a place that you could go for a daytime meeting. We have Catron in Nebraska City, Crossed Arrows in Nickerson, Cosmo in Grand Island, Lakeview in North Platte, and Hidden Oaks up in Valentine. So you have a lot of options, whether you want to choose something that's closer to you geographically or you're looking to explore across Nebraska. I know at one point in time, I think we still have this in the shop where you could purchase a patch for every single camp you visited with the goal of filling in every single one. So I know there are some troops that will try to, over the course of their Girl Scout experience, go to all of the properties. Another quick point I wanted to add that I think comes up a lot when people are making a reservation is kind of having in your brain the parameters of a booking or like the schedule. So if you're doing a day rental, that starts at 8 a.m. and ends at 4 p.m. And if you're doing an overnight rental, you will check in to your accommodations at 5 p.m. and need to be checked out by 3 p.m. Obviously, there's some flexibility, if you are coming to camp overnight, but get there a couple hours early. You can chat with a ranger. Sometimes people will, bring like a sack lunch and hang out until they're able to check in. It's not like you can't like come set foot on property, but I think sometimes people are taken by surprise, like, oh, I can't just come when I want to come. There are specific timelines in place there. And this is where I'm going to quickly shift to another screen. There's a lot of information on our website about properties, but I think it's we have to click through a couple things to get there. So when you come to our website, we're going to come on over to members, and then we'll come over to camp in the outdoors. This is one of those things where I'll say, if you have the opportunity to open these on a laptop or a desktop versus a cell phone or a tablet, sometimes it's a bit friendlier. But either way, you'll be able to find all of this information. So we'll go over to our camps, and this is going to give you a whole bunch of information buried in here. We'll have details for each of our properties, and each page will give you driving directions, maps, photo galleries. If you've not been there and kind of want to see what it looks like, they're pretty thorough pictures and just a general overview of what to expect. Down here, we have some more information about our challenge courses and activities, and then links to this brochure, which is very helpful if you want all of the info at once. And some additional documents here. Another one that I think is helpful that I want to point out is this reservation fees. This list, if you want to know how much to budget. I know I'll hear from troop leaders who say, we're working with our kids to think about how much this will cost us, how many cookies do we need to sell to do archery. So this is where you can come to find out how much it costs. It also will give you capacities. So if you're trying to see if your troop will fit in a specific building or what type of accommodations are going to be the right fit for you, that's also going to be on this piece of paper. All right, I feel like I'm going really fast. If you have any questions, feel free to just shout them out, or if there's anything in the chat that I need to answer, let me know. I don't want to get too deep into the nitty gritty here, but just want you to know that there's a lot of information in here if you are looking for it. I know that booking is kind of an undertaking, so there is stuff here to help you out. All right. Touched on that. So the next thing that we're going to go to is how you actually make a reservation. So on our website, we will come over, there's a big green button that says reservations, and this will take you to our booking website. You've maybe been here before if you've purchased theater tickets, or some of our events live on here, but this is also where you will go to book a camp registration. So you'll come over here, it will show you all of your options, and then it has this drop-down menu with different activities, overnight use. So just to kind of give you an idea of what this looks like, if I were to pretend that I want to book this property, I can see on the calendar what's available, what's not available. If I choose my dates, I'm going to choose the day I want to come and then the day I want to leave. And then that's going to load into the cart, and it will kind of take you through all of this information. If you're with a Girl Scout group, you'll always be in that category. Sometimes you do have outside groups that will use it, or Girl Scout groups from out of council, that's going to fall under a nonprofit. But if you're booking with your troop, you get to use this price point. And basically, it's just going to ask you for your details. And just going to see how far I can get this, because I think there's the part where we see the most questions comes a little bit later on. So how much can I hit? Actually, I don't think it'll let me get in there unless I fill in real info. So I will just tell you about it. They'll have a spot where you can indicate CPR and first aid. It will have a spot to where you can put who is camp trained or Camp Out Basic trained. And if you have any questions about those, you can always reach out and ask us, or if maybe you don't have that training yet, let us know. We can add it later. We are here to help. And I know it sometimes feels like a million details to wade through, but I will just say that you book online, and if you hit any snakes, call us in member support, because I know this is a different, some people don't get into this system very often since it's different from MyGS. Okay, a quick last few tips before I just close for questions. And of course it skipped. So I think one of the most important things to remember are timelines. It's easy for time to get away from us. I have personally experienced that when planning things with my own troop, but for the booking properties with us, if you're booking lodging, you need to do that in at least 14 days in advance. If you're doing activities like challenge courses, archery, tomahawk throwing, that needs to be at least 30 days in advance, because we have to work with our adventure team to coordinate staff so that they are available to facilitate for you. And if something comes up, you want to be able to cancel, that has to be at least 30 days in advance to receive a refund. Obviously, certain things come up, medical emergencies, something like that. Talk to us, we can work with you, but our general parameters are 30 days to cancel. And some quick tips here. I think I've said this several times, but the sooner you book, the better. Spring and summer fill up really quickly. So once you decide what dates you want to go on your camping trip, good to set things in motion, but with a quick note that you can't book it too soon. 8 months is as far out as we can go. Like to emphasize that our activities are facilitated by a team that covers the entire state. So it's best to get those set up as soon as possible, especially during those busier times of the year, so our team can make sure that they have staff available. They're awesome. They're driving to and from all of our camps to help make sure that girls and adults are having an amazing experience. But there's a lot of logistics and a lot of juggling of schedules. So they want to make sure that they're able to have people there to help you out. We don't have people on site at all times. So getting that set up soon helps a lot. This might seem obvious, but June and July are peak times with camp programming from the council occurring. So these are kind of tight months. So keep that in the back of your brain when you're looking at dates. Other questions that we see a lot when people are making these reservations: kitchens. If you're staying in one of the lodges or cabins, they're pretty well stocked with basic equipment, but if there's something that you absolutely have to have, it's best to bring it with you. I feel like Camp Catron actually has an air fryer. That's not the case everywhere. I think that was left behind. So if there's an appliance that you're very attached to, or your troop has a plan for a meal that they want to make, and there's a piece of equipment that is just integral to that process, that's best to bring with you. But you should be good for like plates, flatware, cups, all of that stuff. You'll want to make sure to bring your own towels and linens. Those are not provided. And if you have any questions as you're planning, you've not been to the space, you don't know what to expect, let us know, give us a call. We are happy to chat, let you know, or we can connect you to the rangers who are on site and know these places very thoroughly. The very last thing that I'll plug, because I don't know if everyone knows this, in relation to booking properties, you can book a space for a 2-hour meeting free of charge for your troop. If that's something you want to do, give us a call or send us an email in member support and we can get you set up. All right, I feel like I talked really fast and threw a lot of details at you. Does anybody have any questions?
Zoe, I do have one thing I want to bring up yet then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Here, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here.
Okay, then I will share again. This is in relation to the question with, can we camp at state parks or will we camp at Girl Scouts? So yes, you can camp at other locations, but there is a form that needs to be filled out. So again, under your under members, under forms and documents and programs and travel, you will find the troop trip request form. And this needs to be filled out if you're taking your girls somewhere other than a council property. If you're staying at one of the camps or using a council property, by making your reservation, they know you're staying there. But this form needs to be filled out if you're going to another location. And this can relate to basically any outdoor activity. So it doesn't necessarily even mean camping. If you're taking your girls ice skating or any kind of activities that would pose the possibility of injury, I guess I want to say. You want to fill this out, and then it gets turned into your troop support specialist, and they approve it. Do we have any questions on that? Okay. And I just posted the link to the troop trip request form. Do we have any other questions?
Hey Pam, this is Wendy. I've got two possibly.
Okay.
So first of all, with respect to Rebecca's question about seeing camps, or excuse me, Rachel's comment about seeing camps, Zoe may know the answer. Do we still have like those taste of camp opportunities where people can go to camp, they can sign up for a program, go to camp and check it out? Do you know off the top of your head? I know I'm putting you on the spot. We can post it or we can share it later too. I just know that if you're looking at, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I want to say that we do. I'll have to peek in the program book, but I know the past few years they've had like sort of open houses, usually like or late spring or May-ish, I want to say, where like you would come and you could kind of, it was a family event. You could come out, take a tour. There were different activities, and it's a nice way to get to see the camps. And also, like if your kid is going to camp and they've never been, you can kind of feel a little bit better about it. Is that the event you were sort of thinking of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I think Rachel, they would include kind of a camp tour.
Yes, and so there is in the Girls Guide to Summer Fun, I did see in the Camp Maha slot, there is Camp Maha open house, and so I'm sure that there are the open houses for the other camps as well.
Both. And then my second question is, Zoe, you said that the facilities could be used for 2 hours for free. Is that for all of the facilities?
I think so. I say that tentatively because really when I see it, there are a few places I see it more frequently, like Hilltop House or different, like the Nature Center at Camp Maha. Certain places are more conducive to a 2-hour meeting. But yeah, I would say if there's space on the calendar and your troop is looking for a place to meet, we put that through and clear out the balance on the back end, and you can utilize it for 2 hours. Yeah.
Okay, great. I thought that was just applicable to Hilltop, but I mean, Catherine, for example, has, the lodge or the meeting space that can be broken into three meeting spaces. So,
yeah.
Okay.
You do it at Tucker Lodge a lot. There's some troops that use it more than others, but yeah, it's an option out there. Any other questions that we can answer? Well, if not, I think that's all that we had tonight. Thank you all for sharing your time and for listening. And thank you again to Sarah for joining us and sharing those exciting updates about Girl Scouts in Nebraska. And if you think of any other late questions, you can always shoot us an email. I know I'm one of those people that will not think of my question for another 2 hours. So don't ever hesitate to reach out, and have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh gosh, are we still recording?
Oh, I got kicked myself off. Okay, recording started. Recording, how do I stop it?
Maybe when you got off, it stopped.
No, it says stop recording.
Oh, okay.